Hello, James.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
How was your vacation?
Good.
How was yours?
Good.
I know, I followed you.
I'm glad I drove. It was
Why?
fun.
Oh, to stop at different places?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was your gas mileage?
It got better,
Did it?
actually, except gas in Canada is $5.22 a gallon. I don't know what the conversion would be, I'll have to wait to see, I'll get my credit card statement, but
Right.
When we were up there, it was about 23.
a liter?
Oh, for the conversion on the gas, no, I mean for,
Oh.
when you, if you put it on the
Oh,
credit card, you'll get the
okay,
dollar.
so 77 cents, okay.
Well, you know, no, it's
Yeah.
23, about 23 was,
Where's your time?
for every dollar,
Alright.
you got $1.23 worth of Canadian.
Okay. Yeah.
When we went across, it was 125, when we came back, it was
Oh.
123. Hi,
Okay.
Sandy.
Well, that'll
Hi.
bring it
That'll-
down
I
to
got you.
4,
Yeah,
We're supposed to
yeah,
be-
yeah, but gas is
Just
very
Park
expensive, because
Cemetery,
it's by the liter,
planning.
because
yeah.
I know,
That's it.
well, okay, take for instance, when
supposed
Spencer
to
went and
be
got
a lot
a
of people coming
5-gallon
tonight.
pail,
Complain
and I don't know if they got a premium
go
for
over.
the general store or
This is
not,
why.
but that was
Oh,
44,
got it, okay.
Well,
5-gallon pail.
all my whole trip, my truck went down to like 50 miles to empty. It was between $78 and $82 in the US, and in Canada it was 144. So,
See, when we were filling, when we went to Canada, it was usually, when it was a full job, it was
Good.
90
It was
to
awesome.
100.
Yeah.
When we did the boat,
Yeah,
we
it's-
did that last stop.
We
That's
got-
what it was.
we got-
That's what it was in
It's a whole
Ireland.
different
Yeah.
world down there.
Yeah.
It's by the
crazy.
liter.
Well, I
Yeah.
like it that
Yeah.
it's,
Oh.
That's what
you
it
got
was.
some
so
kid stuff,
you
you
see
got some
that,
like
it's
middle
like
aged
$1.30
stuff.
or whatever,
For an
but it's
adult, it
almost
ain't that
4
bad.
liters.
Yeah.
aren't
Yeah.
gallons.
You got
Right.
that,
So it's
4
like-
times a
it was
dollar.
like-
Disney Springs down
They,
there.
Doug and his
Oh,
for all the-
daughter
for all the
figured out like
restaurants and
$8
Oh,
a
yeah,
gallon.
yeah, the,
Downtown Disney, they call it. or
yeah,
whatever.
But everything is.
I don't know if
We
they have
want-
it there, but, I went
Yeah.
to,
Everything is
Disney
expensive.
World or whatever, where they had all the different, like, countries.
Oh, that's Epcot Center.
Epcot, yeah.
James, on those meetings,
Oh,
I know
you
I,
can do text, email,
I was
call,
saying,
call, it doesn't have to be on
in
paper.
case you can't walk.
That's what
Yeah.
it says in the.
Yeah, I'll read
You
it.
can walk, but not.
Yeah.
I haven't been in here until right
So
now.
I rented,
Just running around
No,
all
it was
day,
in the
but-
municipality.
Power
You
scooter,
always get-
you know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's probably in
haven't,
your
I
budget.
haven't got it in a couple
I
of
rented
weeks,
the whole
so,
Oh, okay,
I was down there.
cause there's some new laws out there.
yeah.
I'm
And
concerned
then,
about that
as you
chip
rented,
one.
they drop it off at your hotel.
I gotta ask, I
You
got
know,
hope
where you
Kim
wanna
can
go.
explain a little bit
Goes
more
on the
to
bus
me,
to
because
all the
I
parks
sort of
there.
got lost in a little bit.
Yeah,
And I
the only park
understand
they
that a
go
little
to
bit
is,
better.
it was, SeaWorld, because SeaWorld, that part Disney.
Yep.
But other than that, everything else you can, you're always the first one on the bus.
Yep.
James, for that,
Yeah, that's,
the Tree City.
I went to most of them, you know, like Epcot, the Magical Kingdom.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the ESPN one, and I didn't go to.
Yeah, let's not talk about it, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've been to a few of them, that's nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Hello.
Hi.
You can like sit here.
One thing I really liked about my trip was
We're sharing.
every gas station that I stopped at was all prepaid.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Is that our thing? She might.
Kim just-
Yeah, I mean,
Where you just drive up and there's no,
I-
you
yeah,
can
I
only
mean,
pull
it's
the
coming.
car.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I
she's
noticed
at
that when I
another
was
meeting
in,
right now.
For the
like
big person.
when we went from, you know, once you got into Chicago, all the way out east, it's all, you got the phone.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's those are, they're all, you take the pump where you prepay and stuff.
I'm kinda glad though in Chicago that
Yeah.
you didn't get the phone.
Yeah.
I know my wife and kids had, they had to go to the bathroom, I was like, hurry up, let's get out
Yeah.
of here.
We stopped at, it was a cool place, we stopped in, the name of the city, but it was in Kentucky, it was the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. We have a council meeting on July 5th.
Correct.
Yeah,
I will probably be there.
okay,
I have a doctor's appointment at 2:30 in Milwaukee
okay,
that I cannot reschedule.
Sure.
So
okay.
hopefully it's done quick and I get back to it.
Well, just give us a yell around 5:30 and let us
Okay.
know where you're at or whatever.
All right.
I'm in Milwaukee, downtown.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's for my.
yeah,
this-
well, that's okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise-
before before they had a heart doctor in, Green Bay, I had to go to Milwaukee all the time for, heart
I reschedule this, I'm not seeing them for another year.
Yup.
I can't do that.
No.
It's one of those deals that you just have to do.
Yeah. I know.
Bite the bullet and go.
Yeah.
We were able, with my dad's trustees, this was, well, it's not as high tech as yours,
Right.
you know? We were always able to go to Green Bay, so we were fortunate, you
Yeah.
know, and the first trustees company was in Green Bay too. so
Well,
we-
my prosthesis company is actually in Menasha, so that's not far.
Yeah,
But I have a.
Doctor.
Did you sign in, sir?
yeah.
Thank you very much.
What's your parts, right?
No,
Planning. Oh, yeah.
You get your back here?
I got back at about 1:30 Saturday.
Okay.
Yesterday I worked all day, was catching up on stuff, and today I was running around all day too.
Hello, John.
5 o'clock, so.
I didn't know that the grocery store.
I know, I just found out about that too, I remember like my neighbor actually. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Who's that?
The Mexican grocery store.
I was in there.
Yeah, that's my neighbor's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Where is that?
Right next to
Yours,
James, right next to
Sunshine, a restaurant.
Oh, really?
That was, that was
That's how much
purchased
I
like
know.
3 or 4 years ago, and that was always the intent, and that purchase was made 3 or 4 years ago, and that was always the intent to make a grocery store out of it. A lot of people are confused if it were a restaurant.
Yeah,
No,
not a restaurant.
No, it's not a restaurant, it's a grocery store.
I hope they do one.
Yeah, I know.
I think
They're
they'll do
going,
all right.
I think they're planning, if it's still under consideration, they're planning to do a cutting the ribbon next Saturday.
Yeah, I gotta check with Wendy,
Yeah.
because we have other ones, I
Yeah.
didn't know if they were doing that one too.
If they had- And then,
What's the other
Mr.
one?
Cox's.
Yeah, Cox and,
Where's that?
On Bum Mountain.
Oh, yeah, the hot dogs.
and the 5 and dime store that.
Yeah,
Nine.
Mr. Cox.
The nines.
No, the nine.
No, the
was
nines
fine.
we did,
Okay.
we did that
We did
before.
another one.
Nobody's looking at it. So where's the other
And then we
one?
have
Okay.
Josh, we have Josh.
Was the 5 and dime store.
So,
Beauty shop.
Ben Franklin.
this is just what you filled out, or?
Yeah, beauty
Yeah,
shop.
that's what I filled out. and that's what- Okay. Okay. I'll take a look through that right here in a little bit.
That one's over here.
Yeah, we did do some of them a letter, because it just changed ownership.
Here's all the stuff that you wrote as well.
What, that 121 East First
Yeah,
Street?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. was.
So, I did do a report on this one.
No, we didn't,
No, we-
we purposely left that.
Yeah,
Because when.
John, you'll do my number, correct? Right, okay, that's, I was just trying to make sure that I was pronouncing the last name correct.
So.
And he was like the resort.
Right, remember that, yeah.
And Minnesota State is
Wow.
Yeah. Made an entrance.
I'll wait it.
We purposely didn't take any action on that. We made it occur, so, but, because he's still. So, we didn't, it's like, one of the not dated letters. So that's what keep an eye on.
He did.
What do you think of that? It tastes like, oh.
Store elimination. I see it's supposed to crack you out because they're the soda.
He's probably doing some representative.
Your kids must all be in high school now, right? Somebody in the back door.
No,
I don't know who's on planning.
planning is Drake,
Matt,
Laser, and McCarty.
no. It's, I thought it was fancy.
No, it was me and T,
Yeah,
me and Josh and Matt.
the bottom's wrong.
I told him, come on.
Companies with that
Sorry,
concept,
I
there
was
was
just going by the
Yeah,
notation.
I was
Sorry.
going by, I was going by the bottom.
remove
The
the,
bottom's wrong.
Guys,
guardrail,
Matthew and Dan.
in front of the bleachers, and I told him I have no idea.
City, I don't know, you have to ask
My
for
mistake.
Chris is the president.
Make sure I don't have to write.
Right next to you, Jake, Chris, he's
Yeah.
the president.
That's why.
Sorry.
It's from the bleachers.
Yeah, I'm reading the bottom.
Alright, Chelsea, you ready?
Oh, this is,
Yeah.
I don't think so, I told him I'd come.
Is there a report at all?
Anyway,
Is it on the agenda?
no, I asked me a few days ago.
It is 6 PM and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Has roll call and open meeting law been complied with?
Yes.
Public input. Public input?
If you're here about a letter you received, this is the time for you to speak.
Yeah, my name is Roger Francis. I'm a homeowner at 116 South Lake Street, corner of First and Nick. I received a little letter. My issue isn't quite as ranting as some, but the vagueness of some of the things that are wrong leads me to with more questions than answers. Unfortunately, I just own the building now. I used to live there, so I'm not around to know exactly what you're talking about. There was no pictures, no state law, as far as what it is, what the state law says. I guess I'm just looking for clarification on a small scale for myself.
Can you, do you recall what we cited as the
It said
infractions?
outside stairway,
Okay,
but then it could be anywhere from
Okay.
stairs to deck to railing repair.
well, so what we have is, from the pictures we have, you have some broken stairs that lead up to the second floor. They're broken. There is, I can't tell if it's a gutter. I think it is a gutter that's no longer detached. It's a downspout that's no longer attached to the eave trough that's just kind of hanging. So, the broken stair is probably the violation that we had in mind. At the second story, there is some type of an eave that was built. It might have been covered at one time. I can't tell if it's covered anymore, but there's wood that's deteriorated and hanging down. So those would have been the issues
Okay,
that we cited.
I was just unaware. I did not receive any. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different staircases on the house. So without a picture, there was no clarification.
Okay, well, a broken stair, I mean, I can see in the picture it's broken completely, and it's pretty evident that there's wood that's hanging off, so,
No, I'm in agreement with that. It's an unused staircase. The upstairs is a vacant apartment that has not been rented since I owned the building.
okay. Well, we're more than happy to speak with you privately. You don't have to have this conversation in front of everybody if you don't want, but we're just trying to get a handle on where folks are at and what their plans are to get up into compliance. I mean, we all know how expensive home repairs are. Nobody's looking to bankrupt anybody. Nobody's looking to put a strain on anybody's budget. But when there are safety issues and there are some here, even though that apartment is vacant, if your building caught on fire and the firefighters ran up those stairs and they fell through them and got injured.
Right,
so-
I do not have an issue with that, I just
Yeah.
need clarification on that one.
Sure, and we'd be very happy to maybe take it a step further privately if you wanted to do that.
Okay.
But that's where we were at with that property.
There was another one on that, and that would be the deteriorated roof.
Yep, and from the pictures, it's badly deteriorated. And again, I understand the cost of roofing, as does the committee. But, you know, as a governing body, you know, it's our obligation to make sure that people are keeping their buildings safe and so forth, and this is something that is covered in the ordinance by the city. So, it's not like you have holes in your roof or anything like that, but, you know, it's something that obviously is gonna need some attention at some future date.
Is there anything in particular, a certain area of the roof, is it?
Well, the picture that we
pitch,
have,
or there's, you know,
the picture that we took,
multi-hip roof.
yeah, the picture that we took, we would be talking about the same side as the staircase that leads up to your second story apartment. And the shingles are badly degraded and potentially maybe almost down to the wood in some areas. Can't tell exactly by the picture. And that would qualify as being out of compliance for the city ordinance and codes. So, again, not expecting you to fix that roof today, but it's an issue that we will continue to look at, and you know, we want you to be able to let us know what you will be able to do with it. Looking at this picture further, that eave trough in that corner is detached in that valley. So, you know, it's another thing, is it gonna fall off? Maybe not, I don't know, but it's definitely detached, so. I would say if you can't do a new roof and you can't make a lot of improvements, you probably wanna stabilize what you have there at least. That would help to get you closer to being in compliance.
Okay, what kind of, actual time frame are we talking about for residents? Is it gonna be something based upon cost or ability to pay?
Well, I think if the letter stated that you know, these items should be taken care of in 30 days or contact the city with arrangements in 30 days. So you have, you know, you have some time to look at your building and see where you're at and call the city and let us know what you wanna do. And if you'd like us to come over there and walk around the property with you and help identify some things, we're happy to do that.
But it just still doesn't give me a kind of hard deadlines or something, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know, we don't, the goal is not to put hard deadlines because we don't know your budget or your financial situation. If you have money, you have 30 days to fix it. If you don't have money, then we expect you to tell us what you will be able to do to get the building into compliance.
Alright, are we also gonna be taking into account the, inability to access the property with construction equipment and the like too as well?
There's nothing that's carved in stone here. You know, we're just basically what we have is we have some properties in the city that are not safe. Yours is probably on the lower end of the spectrum there, but we have some properties in the city that are not safe. When our building inspector and myself and Josh got together to talk about these properties, we can't arbitrarily choose which ones we send a notification to. Basically, your structure is in compliance or your structure is not in compliance. So to give you an example, if you have a brand new house, brand new, that doesn't have the street number on your house, it's not in compliance with the code. So if you have a house with a hole in the side of it that a man can get through, that's obviously not in compliance either. So they're both not in compliance, but one is a greater concern to the city. So for something like this that needs some maintenance and some cleanup and probably some of this stuff you could do on a Saturday morning that probably wouldn't cost a lot of money, I'd say you probably want to do that within 30 days to show some good faith that you're trying to get the building into compliance. The bigger ticket items that, you know, like you say, getting construction equipment in there at this time when the street's torn up, we're not gonna hold your feet to the fire on those kinds of things. Just wanna have an open conversation on where you're at and where we're at and how we can both come together. So, nobody's issuing any raise orders, nobody's putting any fines or fees. If you choose to do nothing ever, then you will have fines or fees. But I mean, as long as you keep an open dialogue with this committee, I think we're more than happy to work with you and all the other homeowners that have received these letters.
Okay. And a last note on that particular property, I myself did not receive any of the paperwork on this. It was actually sent to my son, who is staying at the house. It's all in his name, he's not the property owner, so I'm just making sure that it's noted that
I
future
did write
paperwork
that
or
down
anything
once
does
you
come.
called me. I used the water bill addresses.
Yes,
I will make sure to use the tax bill addresses. If
okay,
you need to
thanks,
send
I
them.
just wanted to make sure that he wasn't
No,
gonna.
that was my,
Duff, is there anything you'd like to add?
Not really, I mean, just exactly what you said, I mean, there's debris up on the roof up there in that valley, and it's kinda hard to tell by this picture, and we didn't get really too close to the building, you know, we didn't get on the premise or anything like that, but, so, I'm going from memory on that roof, but, looking at the picture, it looks like it needs to be, you know, repaired or replaced fairly soon.
Dialogue, that's all we're asking for, cause I understand the cost. You know, I have a couple of buildings myself, then that's certainly, you know, we all have properties and we know the cost to maintain them. Not looking to put anyone out on the street here, but just keep a dialogue open and how we can work together to make sure these places are safe. Safety is key, and some of them are just not safe, unfortunately, so. Josh?
You know, you said it, you know, pretty much everything I was gonna say to add and everything. We, you know, met and talked about, building codes and everything to keep everyone up to compliance, and that's where we stand.
Thank you, thanks for coming in, and just let us know what we can do to help.
Yeah, basically what we're looking for is just, you know, we know there's 595 properties in the city, and there's 28 letters that went out, so it's not a huge widespread issue, but we're just trying to tighten up loose ends. Any other public input? Okay, moving on. Number 1, discussion of possible action on the minutes from May 21st, 2018.
Put a motion into accept the minutes from, May 21st, 2018.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 2, discussion and possible action on 121 East First Street. I'd like to receive a motion to have, Mr. Gildermeister explain where he's at with his, building on that property.
I put a motion in to listen to Mr.
Gildermeister.
Gildermeister, to know what his plan is for 121 East First Street.
I'll second that.
Okay, well, first of all, I did submit, a nomination for the building to be part of the state and national register. And I should be getting a definite answer within the next month to month and a half. And once it is on the national register, and it qualifies for either state or government grants, so I can get the money to have it restored. As of right now, I gave Kim, I don't know if she gave you guys a copy, I did give Kim the notice of my bankruptcy.
I have all the stuff right here.
And I did speak with the bankruptcy attorney, and within the next 3 years, I can't get a personal loan or refinance my house. So the only way to get money to repair that property is through government or state grants, and if the Historical Society would be willing to put any money towards that project. And once that project's all done, I plan on donating that property either back to the city or to the Historical Society. Because I did go to the courthouse in Oconto, and it's confirmed that that building is one of the oldest buildings in Gillett. It was built in 1898.
Is there any immediate plan to secure the crumbling walls?
Yeah,
And what is that?
yeah, the plan is to, right now, to brace that one wall
Okay.
to make sure that they don't come out any farther. And I do have a roofing contractor on standby to put a brand new roof on it. The only issue is the generating the $5,000 needed to put the new roof on.
Yeah, my question would be if your grants don't go through the Historical Society, then what?
If the grant is denied, then the option would be to, as an option I don't wanna even go to, but it would be to then sell the building again for $1 or $2, someone else that would have finances to fix it up. Cause as far as tearing down the building, I cannot afford to tear it down.
Sure.
If I had an estimate, and it's anywhere between $7,000 and $10,000.
Sure.
I think we'd like to see you at all of our planning meetings for you to update us on what's going on, if that's possible.
Oh, sure.
We're gonna have to watch that building very closely, because I believe a raise order was issued at some point. And I think that the committee was willing to give you an opportunity to try and save the building if that was your wish and you were able to do that. But that building poses a substantial threat to the neighboring property owners as well as to itself. But, you know, that wall is bad news, and that whole west side is all buckled, so, you know, we can't continue to let bricks just free fall from that wall, so. I think if you can keep us apprised at our monthly meetings, that would be a good start.
Yeah, that's the plan that I had in mind.
Now, is there any immediate concern or immediate action to at least stabilize the walls?
Yeah.
Especially, you know, anything?
Yeah, there's gonna be, 2 major steel supports that are be going down in the ground, and there's gonna be, reinforced, steel plate that's gonna be going on there to make sure that that doesn't come out any farther.
Okay. So you're going with a big sheet of steel
Right,
across there?
yep,
Up a ways?
We're talking right here?
Yes, I believe so, correct, right in that whole
Right,
area?
Whole area?
yeah, the whole area it's gonna be to the area to the left of that.
Okay.
Below
So here?
the second window where
Yeah,
it's-
below, in between the first and second window
In here?
is where it's buckled the most.
If you look carefully, Matt, you'll see about waist height.
Oh,
It's buckled.
Let's see, yeah.
Is there a timeline that the National and State Historical Society give you for a response back on the grants?
They said within the next month, a month and a half.
Okay.
And then to get the grant, if it is approved, to actually get the grant itself, takes anywhere from 6 months to a year to actually physically get the money. It's a lot of red tape you gotta go through.
Mr. Lever, what concerns do you have about that structure?
Well, yeah, just looking at it, collapsing actually. So, you know, I'm not an engineer or anything like that, so I'm just,
Yeah, I've already called a few engineers and one's supposed to get back to me the first half of this coming week.
It's, the roof itself, is it leaking right now, or?
It's leaking in two different spots.
Are you, yeah, okay. And so how much water is coming in, I mean, how bad are those?
It's, right now it's just a slow drip, but in the winter time, seeing the roof is leaking. The water is going in between the brick veneer and the actual wooden structure. And in the winter time, that water freezes, and that's what's pushing the bricks away from the structure.
Yeah, so that sounds to me like that's something that has to be fixed first, then, I would
Yeah,
think.
yeah, the roof and the siding around the roof is the first thing to get repaired.
Mhm.
So we'll probably just, Sandy, Matt, any other concerns?
I guess,
I guess it would be the length of time this is going to take to get necessary funding to, you know, to even get it to where it's stable.
I think we're gonna wanna see a plan at our next planning meeting of what you can do to keep it safe. You know, not improved or rehabilitated, but safe, cause
Yeah, I
right
can
now
do
it's
that.
not safe.
I guess my concern is the same with Sandy, is that, the same with you, James, you wanna make sure it's safe, and it's already crumbling now, and the roof is leaking, and you wanna get a loan or a grant from this historical society, it's gonna take 6 months to a year to get. What's gonna happen between that time period?
Right.
You know, that'd be my concern, and it's buckling the way it is now. I mean, we can't wait really 6 months to a year for funding, and that's gotta be secure, otherwise something has to happen to it, it's unsafe, as James said, and I guess that's my main concern, is make sure that the building is safe, and I also agree with James that we need to have some type of plan to let us know what, you know, timeline frame, what's gonna happen, what are you gonna do to repair that building? At least make it safe until you get that loan or the grant to do the repairs total. But we need something that, in writing that says what's your plan?
Yeah, we've been dealing with this building for 2 years now, and we need by the end of the year, when it come budget time, and if nothing's improved, we're probably looking at, going to take it down. Because it has to, it's just so unsafe, I know it's not your fault that it got to be that condition, and that's why it's so important that we look at these issues with the building inspector, for buildings do not get to that point. And that's what it's, possibly might have to come to be. But,
And we suspect you were aware of what you were taking on.
Well, yeah.
okay.
Do you have a contact with a historical that you could tell them that this is,
Well, I recently joined the Historical Society.
because this is I think it's an emergency type situation.
Yeah, I believe it is too.
And if they're really interested in preserving these buildings, which they should be, it's probably gonna take a lot of your time and, talking to different ones, cause they're gonna probably switch you from one to one, talking to different people, but I think that might be worth the effort.
And I can also see if I can, give the state or, the federal level a call too, to see if they can, push your application out.
Oh yeah, because I've already talked to the Historical Society as far as, financing goes for my project, and right now, their main financial concern is the addition to the carriage house that they wanna do.
Anything else, or?
I am gonna, the historical meeting is this Thursday, so I am gonna see if it might be possible that they would be willing to give me a low interest loan of 5,000, so I can get that repair done, the roof finished. So at least there is some headway on getting that building repaired.
If you, please.
Do you have any, I know with when we did the historical preservation thing, when you get that money, the rules associated with redoing the roof and the windows and stuff, to meet their criteria?
No, that I haven't received anything on that
You
yet.
might wanna check on that before you get too involved in the roof, because a lot of times, one of the buildings downtown, I know we ran into an issue with, they put vinyl windows in, and that was a no-no.
No vinyl siding.
No, there are a lot of
Probably no
those kind
metal
of things that they won't let you do
They want it retained to its original.
original, so
Period.
before you start on any of those, you really need to check the requirements.
I believe, our building inspector would also be willing to maybe give you some insight as to where you might start when you go to just stabilizing the building. Maybe he can help you identify some of the most troubling spots for the city. Because while it's, a good idea to replace the roof, I don't know how you start pounding on that roof without shaking more of those bricks loose. So I really think that west side wall needs to be stabilized like yesterday. So
Yeah, I do too.
there's a windowsill here that I presume is some type of rock that is probably gonna fall out. There is less than 25% of the bricks supporting it. So, you know, and that whole section is 2 steps from that, so I think you wanna keep in contact with the committee on that.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to meet with you anytime you want me to come by and, just go through the place with you.
No, okay, yeah, I do work first shift in Green Bay, and I do get back, up to this area at 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day.
Yeah, I just met your neighbor down the road, I think it was only like 3 doors down, I was talking to him, so, that was at 5 o'clock, so, yeah, I'm available if need be, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Thank you, John. Yep. Number 3, discussion and possible action on the housing standards. This is just a review of the housing standards that, the building inspector went by, that it is a chapter in the, Gillett code book. Any comment on that, Matt or Sandy?
No, I can't think of anything right offhand.
Okay. Alright, moving on. Discussion and possible action on the water's cost share program. I spoke with, Shane Rank a little bit about it, and it's mainly, basically, the water coming off, runoff, and we wouldn't be able to apply for this, grant. Is that correct?
From what I read, you would have to get the county here to specify it better. I didn't read it in depth, I scanned it when it came out 2 months ago,
Okay.
and I haven't had time to go through it with a fine tooth, but you gotta look at what they say you can and can't do and what other issues and hazards we have going into the lake before they will even think about giving you a grant.
Okay.
Cause right now we can't get a grant from the DNR, so I can't foresee the county giving you a grant if DNR won't give you a grant on a clean act for water.
I don't know what this is. What is it?
This is, the county offers a possible, grant to help clean up the water. And it's mainly for Savage Lake.
Oh, okay,
That was the purpose intended for. And if the DNR is, not, wanting to touch it, I don't know if the county will.
We
okay.
have storm going into the lake right now, which was,
Yep, I did
doesn't
see,
meet criteria
I
for a
did
lot
see
of.
that, yeah,
Everything from the high school
Yep.
goes into Savage Lake.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be
That's the downfall.
changed
Well,
with this construction at all?
There'll be a flapper that basically keeps most of it out of the lake
Okay,
unless that 100-year rain comes again
Yeah, yeah.
before 100 years, you know. It's gonna be sort of like a louver type thing that, it's gonna keep going down the storm sewer.
okay.
But if we have those downfalls like we've had, there's still gonna be some seepage in the lake. And that was our hang-up all this time, until we
So we
can
can
get.
have zero,
Correct,
okay,
unless the DNR has changed their standards.
okay.
It's mainly an overflow type thing.
Yeah, there's a box on the corner of Lake and First in the ground, and the line going to the lake's gonna have a weir in it now, at a height. The new existing pipe going out, so when the new pipe going out, if that ever got full, at the box, the water would go over the weir,
Okay,
and that would go to the lake.
okay,
We're putting a weir in the box there on the out discharge pipe that we're using presently.
okay.
Would the committee like to pursue this?
I would say no, at this time, there's no point of, if the DNR is not gonna do anything, I don't see how the county's gonna do anything.
I agree with that.
Okay. Alright, moving on. Number 5, discussion and possible action on the CISA building plans. No, they're looking to, alright, thank you Shane too, sorry about that. They're looking to, expand their parking lot. They're running out of, parking spaces. It's all pretty much in their property,
Yep, they're all within the property.
so.
They're gonna go to the west about another 15 feet, cause right now, the way their parking lot is designed and the way it's painted, to the west ain't a full parking lane in depth, so they're gonna go to the west a little bit. I think they'll be within 10 or 15 feet of their property line on the west by the ambulance service. And there's a kind of a swale that takes all the water from the front to the back. That swale is gonna stay in there. Page 3 shows the best. And then they're gonna be coming to the east. Same width as the parking lot is in front of the building. They're gonna come all the way over. I think they're gonna add another 13 stalls.
Yeah, I'll bring it
They'll be adding from, this is what they'll be adding to the east.
from here.
Yeah.
And then you said they're expanding this with a,
Existing parking lot ends like here right now.
So they're just adding all these spaces?
Yeah, and them trees will disappear. There's 3 trees, so there'll be 13
Okay.
from the property line.
And this, they're adding like here?
No, from here,
Oh, that's more than 13 spaces.
well, 13 one
Oh,
side.
26, okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So we'll probably cut right up.
And all their water,
to the Derrick here.
all their water is gonna be discharged off the end, cause this is lower, they're gonna fill it, all their water from the parking lot.
And they're
They're gonna have
adding
rip wrap
a
here,
dumpster.
and they're looking at putting drainage in front of the building, underground. It's gonna discharge here, out of a pipe with rip wrap, and out of a pipe here with rip wrap here, and it all flows naturally this way to the woods.
The parking lot ends like right here now, right?
Yep, right off the driveway.
Yeah.
And when are they hoping to do that, Shane?
We're waiting for approval.
Okay.
daycare's here,
Yep.
see that little grassy
Yep,
stretch,
yep,
so,
yep.
all in line. I'm gonna bring this up to Sandy real quick.
That's a good thing.
Oh, maybe a picture. Right here's, right here's the daycare, so that little strip in between, we're looking to add, 13 on this side, 13 on this side, so 26. Parking spots over.
Okay.
Drainage goes around and out, and then they're gonna be adding over here, more spaces, that drainage comes up, and then it'll be going all the way out.
Okay.
And they're gonna put in
In front of the garage there, Jake, Josh, they're building that dumpster out of brick.
Yeah, in front of the garage, they're gonna build that
Yeah,
dumpster house.
Okay.
so the dumpsters will be in an enclosure.
It looks like a good area. A good rooming area for parking.
Right now, when I drop my kids off, they're parking on the streets,
Yeah.
pretty long. So, looking for a motion to approve the CISA parking lot plans.
Put a motion in to accept the, CISA building parking plan, CISA family parking lot.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Next meeting date, what are we looking at?